we have a stream, I think.
Okay. There we go.
Yes, the live stream. We have a live stream, apparently. That's always good to know.
Apparently.
Okay, we have a stream, I think.
Okay.
There we go. We do have a live stream.
Why can I hear myself? Oh, is that from you?
Yeah.
That was weird. I could hear myself having not gone onto YouTube, and then I was like, what?
Right. It's refreshed and said there's a live stream, but I can't find it on YouTube. That's weird.
No, I can't see it either.
That's very weird.
Oh yeah, no, I've got a live stream.
Yeah, got it. There we go. It was just a bit slow.
Yeah.
Although I do appear to be completely stationary in it. There we go. We're up. Right. Let's do this.
Max Verstappen has taken the checkered flag to win. That was absolutely brilliant. No, Sergio Perez is giving it everything. Oh no, Max, that was so not right. Goes Leclerc, through goes Hamilton. Unbelievable stuff. And into each other goes Valtteri Bottas and Sergio Perez.
Bottas took out both legs and both.
And at the back, that's George Russell out of this race. Daniel Ricciardo makes contact there with Kevin Magnussen, and there's a second contact.
Have you updated that?
No, that's been the same all year. Why? What did you hear that was different?
I don't know. I can't remember.
So,
no, I just felt like it's slightly different. Anyway, hello, we're back.
Hello, we are. Now, normally in these episodes, this is just for the YouTube audience, but I would normally hold up this beer mat and then look very disappointed. But since we last recorded, not only do we have this beer mat, we have this beer mat for the first time. We have a Charles Leclerc and a Lando Norris beer mat. Both have won races since we last podcasted. So we've missed 4 races because of America and me being a dad and not being able to cope with my life. So it's been great.
Yeah. So I've even got some notes, which I'm trying to put into the bottom right-hand corner, but I keep losing this. Oh, there we go. We're getting there.
So as you can see, we're back, and we're just as organised.
There we go. I've got
all we decided to podcast 30 minutes before the start of free practice 2 for Spain, so we can even
round of applause to us.
We can even talk about free practice 1 if you really wanted to.
I didn't see it, so I have no idea.
Oh, good. I can. Yeah, I caught some of it. I was listening to some of it, but
there we go. I haven't seen any of it, so sorry. So I was in America, and so was the Formula One, and of course, I didn't see any of the race. And well, I did watch it about 2 weeks later, maybe a week later, because it was the first week of shoot. So I completely missed it. All I really know is Lando won
for Miami. Yeah, he did.
I have no idea how he won. I don't know what happened to Verstappen. I can't remember. I did see it, but that was too long ago.
Yeah. It basically looked good. Looked like he was going to be close, pushing for the win, but probably finishing second behind Verstappen. Then a safety car fell his way. I didn't see the race. I was working, and I was on the way home as the race finished. So I was going to watch it on a 2-hour delay. And as I pulled up to my drive, 2 text messages almost simultaneously popped up on my phone. Get in, Lando. Yes, fantastic, Lando. I'm like, oh, fantastic. Thank you, Mr. Tom Downey and my sister.
Yeah, I had the same thing from Laura going, are you watching this? You better be watching this. Why are you not watching this? I was like, because I'm shooting, Laura. This is my wife. And she was like, why are you not watching it? Yeah, no, what? And there's all these text messages. And then I was trying to get online on my phone, but the VPN, because I've got Sky UK and I couldn't find it on any American channels. And it was just...
Yeah, you won't. Sky are really hot on that. You can't watch Sky in another country.
You can if it's on a laptop. You can watch it on my phone.
Oh, really? Because I've tried it on my phone loads of times when I've been in other countries and it's never worked.
No, my laptop worked.
Okay.
So I managed to watch. I can't
Which
remember
VPN provider was that? Like, other VPN providers are
Express.
available. Oh, okay, yeah.
Express VPN.
Other ones are available.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that seemed to work anyway. But also, it might be because I'm in Ireland.
Tom's in the chat. He's sorry for spoiling
You spoiled
the Norris
Tom.
result. It's fine. He has to shave his head now, or something similar.
Or something similar. Oh yeah, yeah. That didn't do too well, did it?
Well,
that didn't age well.
Yeah. Well done, Tom. I'm so glad he's in the chat so we can actually rib him on it, like without having to be PC. You fucking idiot, Tom. Why would you fail? Well, Lando Norris not winning a race, and the next race he wins. Fantastic.
I know, and I baited him into doing that, so I feel like it's slightly my fault.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry.
It's fine. Don't worry. We'll have Tom on a podcast very soon, and we will discuss the suitable punishment for his indiscretion.
Well, so, now I'm back. Double or quits. Here we go. There he goes.
Double or quits. We'll have to discuss terms. I'm quite up for another bet. I'm on a winning streak. I'm quite up for a bet. So yeah, that's 2 in a row.
Double or quits. He has to shave everything off.
Yeah. Well, maybe the double or quits. I think the double or quits should involve probably our favorite Mexican, because he seems to be proving me right every week at the moment. So
anyway,
yes,
so Lando
Ruby's
wins.
Here. Yes, no, Ruby, we haven't disappeared. We've just been
very
lazy.
We haven't been lazy. We've just been busy, and we're sorry. And even that poor George on Thingy Bob keeps going, are you available? Are you available? I'm like, no, I'm at a wedding. So this weekend I'm at a wedding. Next weekend I'm at a wedding. It's just like life's just weirdly busy at the moment, and it's just
yeah. I can't do any of the grid talk stuff this weekend either. I've got family down and other stuff going on. It's all a bit crazy.
Anyway,
yes. So Miami.
Miami. That's as much as I can remember about Miami.
So that's Miami covered off. Yeah,
and I can't remember. So we've got a lot to get through in theory. And
Imola.
I didn't watch it.
Okay.
Full stop. Did not watch it.
Fantastic.
Again, I got texts from Laura going, "Oh my God, Lando's going to do it again. Lando's going to do it again. Lando's going to do it again."
He was never going to do it again.
No. Well, he was 17. But my question is with this. Why was half the field lapped? What happened? Why was from 10 down to 20 to over half the field lapped?
I mean, it's a short race. It's a short lap. I can't remember. Was that a wet dry one? I think it was. I think it was a
dry one. Or was it a wet one? I thought it was dry. Looked dry.
I can't remember now. It's so long. I just cannot remember. I mean, obviously my focus was very much at the front, and I think Lando would have got him within DRS, but it was virtually impossible to pass anyway. So I don't think it would have mattered. Only if he'd had a much higher tire offset at the end, he might have done.
Yeah.
Worker calling me. I hope they're not on the live stream because I should be at work.
Yeah. Who's on the live stream, lads?
Whoops. Okay.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I'm on my meal break. If they are watching, I get a 40-minute meal break, and I'm taking it. So for a change, because I don't normally. So let's make sure it gets done at 40 minutes. So that was that.
But the question is now from this point, is Lando the new opposition to Max?
I think so. I mean, if you look, I'm looking at the standings at the moment, and Leclerc is ahead of him, 138 points, but Norris is coming from a much better trajectory. He's only 7 points off Leclerc. The car seems to be much more balanced for every track, whereas the Ferrari seems to be a bit more hit and miss. It definitely
smash and miss if we go to Canada, but we'll talk about that in a bit.
It definitely doesn't do well on long straights. So the Ferrari this is, whereas the McLaren seems to be the high speed corners. So I think it's going to suit Barcelona. I think we'll come out of this race, and if everything goes as it should, I think Lando Norris will be second in the championship after the end of this race. I don't think if things are going to carry on for Mr. Perez, I think it's going to be troubled water for Red Bull in the Constructors' Championship. It's still 50 points, but I can see 80 points back to McLaren, but I think the only thing that's going to save Red Bull would be if Mercedes are back on song and all those three teams are taking points off each other, sharing wins and second places and stuff. But I can genuinely see there being a challenge for the Constructors' Championship, which is awesome.
There you go. So then,
We have
but-
Monaco.
Monaco. I woke up especially at 7 a.m. to watch this race because of time differences. Went for McDonald's. Actually, I woke up at 6 or something.
Oh,
Went
I've
for
got a
a
story about this
McDonald's.
race, actually. Go on,
Went
you
for a
go.
McDonald's breakfast, came back because
Mhm.
there was a McDonald's at the end of the road where we were staying. Came back to our house that we were all staying in. Put on the Formula One. There was a big crash, which I think was Sainz, was it? Or
Paris.
Perez. Perez crashed. That was a big crash. And then I went to sleep because I fell asleep and woke up to everything being the same.
So my
Go on.
story for this race was my wife was out doing she was doing an audition for a show. Spoiler alert, didn't get it, but she's still doing the show anyway. So I had the boy, but he had a swimming lesson, so I had to take him to swimming. And the way it worked out, I could watch the first 10 minutes of the race.
Yeah.
And then I'd have to leave. So I was like, shall I not? And then because was I doing grid? I don't think I was doing grid talk. I might have been, maybe not. I can't remember now. No, I don't think I was. But either way, I did watch the start. I was naughty, and then there was the big crash, and then because then I was supposed to watch it with Emily when she got home, my wife, and the big crash, and then I went off to swimming, and then like I'd left swimming and the race still hadn't restarted because my mate texted me saying, "Oh, the race hasn't restarted yet." But I couldn't watch it because I promised I'd watch it with Emily when she got home. So when I did eventually get home. The race was well in by the time I got home. But when I got home, I was like, okay, I've got to wait for Emily, And then I wish I just watched it because like nothing changed.
Yeah.
So we watched the start again. Then we fast forwarded through all the stuff with Alpine and everything, and I just kind of skipped to those bits. So I can show what happened with that because I hadn't seen any of that either.
Yeah.
And
I have no idea what happened to Alpine.
Yeah, just that they collided. They just went
I remember that actually.
Yeah,
I did.
Yeah, and then Sainz shouldn't have. I don't think Sainz should have been able to restart from his position. That just killed any competition in the race. But yeah, it just meant that everyone just went to the end on the tyres that they started on. So it just showed once again, if you have a red flag at Monaco, everyone just changes tyres, and then that's the end of the race.
Yeah.
So that was Monaco.
That is the thing. I mean,
bad even by Monaco standards.
Yeah. Who really cares about Monaco? Should we just give it up? Like, who's watching it? Who actually sits there and goes, "Oh, I can't wait for Monaco"? Yes, it has a big VIP money thing, but actually, as a fan, does anyone care about Monaco? Because even as a fan, you can't see jack shit because you're in the town, you know.
So I'm of a slightly differing opinion. I'm fine with Monaco as a race because I know it's going to be a terrible race, but qualifying is amazing and it's great fun. And there's always the jeopardy. It never does happen because everyone always drives strategically, but there's always the chance that something can happen at any second, probably involving Logan Sargent. And I quite like that jeopardy. I accept it's going to be a dead rubber. It's probably going to be boring, but something might happen and it might be amazing. But I know that that's probably not going to happen. But I love the qualifying challenge.
Yeah, the qualifying I don't mind. But last year with when it rained, I mean, it wasn't that much more exciting.
It was well. I mean, I was watching that on my phone at a barbecue, so I didn't get the full experience on that one. But yeah, I thought it was a decent race. It was a good race by Monaco standards. There was jeopardy. You didn't know who was going to win. But I'm fine with Monaco. As it is. It's never going to be my favorite race, but
is that 2026 the cars are going to be a foot shorter, aren't they?
They are, but if you look back to when the cars were at their smallest and nimblest in recent times, sort of 2005, 2006, you couldn't overtake then. The cars are still massively bigger than then. So it's not going to make any difference to Monaco whatsoever.
Okay.
It's still, the only thing you might do is with the increased energy recovery, there's a possibility you might be able to get alongside going into turn one.
Is that I think like Monaco's qualifying, as everyone's saying on the old chat there, is great. And I completely agree with that. But then it's weirdly the backwards weekend. Normally, like the qualifying is like, grand. That's that, it's not overly exciting. but then you end up with a race and you prefer the race 99.9% of the time. Monaco's the complete backwards. If I was to go as a spectator, I'd want to go and watch qualifying and not the race.
Yeah, I mean, I would enjoy the qualifying as a fan, and then I would enjoy the race as a celebrity. I would sit there
On the
like
yacht.
sipping Sancerre on my yacht
Yes.
and being fed grapes by scantily clad people or whatever. I don't know, whatever. But I don't know where that was going. But because that's
which
clearly
hole
what
are you
happens
digging
to
yourself?
yeah, because what
It's Kimi Raikkonen, isn't it?
that's clearly what happens to the general admission people when they go to Monaco.
No.
So that's Monaco, really.
Yeah,
That's
I
it.
mean, I'm over Monaco.
Yeah.
I think it's always going to stay, and I understand it pays for everything. And
Well, it doesn't.
la-di-da.
Not really. It pretty much had a free pass, and it doesn't bring an awful lot of money to Formula One. It brings an audience to Formula One, but Formula One don't get an awful lot out of Monaco, which is why in recent times they've put their foot down and said, no, we're doing our own broadcast coverage. We're not allowing you to do your own broadcasting. I don't care if you see parts of Monaco you don't want us to see, but we're going to do it anyway. No, you can't have practice on a Thursday just because you want to have the knees up on a Friday. No, we're doing practice on Friday like every other race.
Mm-hmm.
So they're actually getting a bit more full on with Monaco, and they've said that they've got to up the payment for having the sanctioning fee to have Monaco as well. So they've to bring them more in line with what other people pay. So they are getting more. Monaco now needs Formula One more than Formula One need Monaco, which is interesting because it changes that dynamic.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I think I don't like it. Okay, so they're saying that the economy brings more to F1 economy than we realize. This is what Tom's saying. Monaco brings more to F. What is it that we're missing, Tom? Because I am into business. Someone explain to me how F1 Monaco makes any money for F1, because I can't. You're not going to get general admission costs. It's not a big. You can't get big audience numbers around the place. A lot of people bring their mates into the towns and hire out their Airbnbs. A lot of yachts and things come in, which obviously have parking things, but that's not bringing money to F1. So I don't know how it's bringing any money into F1. Or into anything.
Certainly not as much as the newer ones, the big
and almost
ones
and even the drivers don't seem to care about it anymore. Maybe I'm wrong, but
yeah, I'm fine with it. Like as a one-off race, I'm not saying it should be scrapped. Genuinely, don't think it should be scrapped.
Plus, it's a lot of people's home race, even though they don't call it a home race. You know, it's Albon's home race, isn't it? It's who else?
A lot of drivers live there. Obviously, well, it's not so much their home race in that it's Charles Leclerc is the only person from Monaco.
No, when I say
a lot of drivers live in Monaco.
Race.
A lot of drivers live in Monaco. Yeah. Obviously, Hamilton lives in Monaco as well.
Hamilton, yeah.
But yeah, it's Leclerc is the only driver since Chiron who was born in Monaco that won Monaco.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, la-di-da. Someone's paid a corporate deposit to Monaco for next year.
Oh, okay.
We're all going with Tom, right?
Yep.
Tom's taking us. That's the Grid Talk work event, isn't it?
Yeah. You got to do a few more podcasts before you can claim to be a Grid Talker.
Yeah.
2 a year and then offend a lot of people.
Yeah. Yeah, that's my plan.
Basically what you do.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then we move on to Canada, one of my favorite races.
Right, so it was a good race. I
know. When I went to Canada, I didn't pay anything to a Formula One. I paid it.
Let me jot that. Let me pick that up before.
Canada.
Canada. I mean, there was a lot of people being a lot of people, if that makes sense. There was Russell being Russell, where he just can't. Qualifying was immense when the fact that they both had the same time, and that was quite cool. And fair play, Russell. Cannot hate Russell on that. And he won that fair and square. Well done. Lando was Lando of could have done better, ended up in second. Sargent was Sargent, binned it into a wall. Ferrari was Ferrari, blew up an engine or two, or whatever they did. Albon was Albon, where you will feel sorry for him for being taken out.
He took Sainz out.
No, Sainz took him out.
You sure? I can't remember now.
Sainz took him out. So
Okay.
Albon was the passenger in that. Yeah, Albon was
I got that
passenger.
the wrong way around in my head. It's been nearly 2 weeks since that race.
Yeah. The things that were different. So everyone's pretty much being everyone as they normally are, and nothing was too obvious there. The highlights for me was Danny Rick beating Sonoda.
And he was beating Sonoda even before he like spat it off in the last few laps as well.
Yeah. So,
just to annoy Jacques Villeneuve.
Yeah. And I mean, that was the whole thing with Jacques Villeneuve. We're all getting paid onto Tom's payroll. Brilliant.
Nice. Excellent. Cool.
So Danny Rick was, is this the sea change? Or is this just a one-off?
No, I think it's just a one-off. To be honest, I think Sonoda's a very accomplished, very well-rounded Formula One driver. Now he was he was well into my top 10 of drivers last year.
Yeah, and I think
I stood by that, and I got a lot of stick for that as well. I was saying that he was like halfway point in the season, he was top 5, and then he dropped down a bit. He was probably sort of, but I think it was my 8th best driver come the end of the season. I had in my listings. I did get a lot of stick for that, but I stood by it, and I think he's made another step this year as well, because he had a lot of uncertainty last year with different teammates every week. So it's kind of, that is a chance to flatter to deceive. But this season he's had the same teammate, and I'm sorry, but it's an 8-time race winner. Yeah. Daniel Ricciardo is not suddenly shit, and he's handsomely putting him away. So Tsunoda is, I'm not saying he's a future world champion, but he is a solid, dependable yardstick of an F1 driver now. He's now reached Kevin Magnussen's status of glory.
Who's now stuck in fucking who's now stuck in RB because he signed a contract.
Yes, yeah, he's there next year. And we obviously had a few people sign new contracts since we were last on as well.
Oh, yeah, we'll talk about that in a bit, because I just want to carry on talking about this race. The Mercs, are they getting better or Jackie?
Well, let me just have a look at the timings from today's practice session before I answer that. Hang on. Let's have a look. Russell, 0.3 off Norris. Hamilton, 0.6 off Norris. Verstappen, just a fraction behind Norris. Based on practice 1, no, they're slightly closer than they were before. I think it probably is track specific.
Okay.
But I think they're getting closer. They are. I think I don't think it's a 4-way fight for race wins, but I think Red Bull are still slightly ahead and Mercedes is still slightly behind. I think Ferrari and McLaren will bunny hop as to which one is the closest. But I think on their day, Mercedes will now be able to challenge Ferrari and McLaren. And if that coincides with a day where Red Bull are off their game, then they could snipe a few race wins. But,
okay, this is a Sean question. When was the last time we had a customer engine beat the factory?
As in the championship?
Yeah. And when also did we have as a customer be first or second last?
Customer.
There we go. I'm sure Ruby or Tom will know these questions. Actually, it's a very Aaron question.
Oh, there was one year where Toro Rosso, I think, I can't remember if they did beat Red Bull or they were close. They were close. Yeah, this was before Red Bull won championships.
Yeah,
they were close. I'm trying to think.
It's got to be back in the McLaren days, hasn't it?
I tell you what, it's probably 2012 when McLaren beat Mercedes.
No,
Mercedes came back in 2010.
No, Brawn. Was that late in 2012?
No, 2009 was Brawn.
Okay, so definitely Brawn was the last.
Because because they were they were a Mercedes engine.
Yeah, so they were a customer engine.
Yeah, but there was no Mercedes. There was no Mercedes team on the grid. Okay. Mercedes bought Brawn.
2013 Red Bull customer of Renault.
Yes, well done. Yeah, that'd be it then. Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, I was saying 2012 McLaren beating Mercedes, but yeah, that would make sense. Red Bull, Renault. Yeah.
But did Renault have a team?
Saying that, did McLaren?
Renault didn't have a team in 2013.
Yeah,
did they? Did they?
Yeah.
Did McLaren beat Mercedes when?
I'm thinking, did McLaren beat Renault when McLaren had Renault engines?
When was that?
This was 2019. I'm not sure they
Oh
did.
no, Tom's saying they didn't have a Renault team on the grid. Yeah, we didn't have a Renault team on the grid.
I
It was
think
a
we
Lotus
did.
in
Or was it
2013,
Lotus?
in 2012.
Bear with. I will have
There
a
we go.
look.
This is such a geeky question. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
was I right? Let's have a look. Teams 2013. We have Lotus Renault. Yeah, they must have bought it. Yes, because there was Kimi Raikkonen race for Lotus in 2014. Okay, now Tom's saying 2018. What was that? Red Bull Racing Tag Heuer beating Renault. I suppose that would count, but it's not actually. It wasn't branded a Renault, so that doesn't count. I'm not having that. Okay, what about 2017? This is fantastic.
Someone ring
content,
Sean. Someone ring Sean. Someone. We
Yeah.
need to find out.
Again, 2017, you've got Red Bull beating Renault, but again, it was Tag Heuer, so I'm not having that. They wouldn't have their name on it. Red Bull Racing Tag Heuer beating Renault in 2016. So it would have been 2015 was a Renault. Yeah, there we are. 2015, Red Bull was a Renault. That was the last time we had it.
And we had a Renault team as well.
Yes, we did. But Tom's saying 2018 was McLaren had Renault engines, but I don't think they beat Renault in the championship. They didn't. They were sixth in the championship, and Renault were well clear. So there we go. There's the answer. The very long answer to your question. I'm not counting Red Bull Racing Tag Heuer as a Renault engine. So
okay. We didn't have Renault in 2015. I'm so confused. What was the answer? You think it's 2015? Because Tom's saying Renault came back in 2016. There we go. I'm sorry. We might have to come back on this now.
Yeah, I know. So I read STR Renault as Renault, but it wasn't.
Right, there we go.
Yeah,
right.
I read STR Renault as Renault. But
this might go back. This might go back further to Williams and places.
In which case, then it would have to be. What did we say? I think I was right then. In that case,
what
was it? McLaren beating Mercedes in 2012. It would have to be
McLaren beating Mercedes. Was that?
Yeah, because
Mercedes
McLaren
were in it.
Yeah, because McLaren didn't beat Renault. There was no Renault team. Yes. Yeah. Oh, okay. There we go. I'm sticking with it.
2012.
Oh, Lotus Mercedes. Yeah, because Lotus was 2015 was Lotus Renault. Yeah. Lotus Mercedes. But Lotus Mercedes was 2014. They didn't beat Mercedes. So that doesn't count. Lotus Renault was 2013.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're going with 2012.
Yes.
So
yeah, so basically what I said 10 minutes ago was right.
There we go. Right, there we go. Sorry. Okay, and talking about really boring geeky stuff, tires. Who did it right and who did it wrong? When the Canadian Grand Prix. You know, we're still talking about the Canadian Grand Prix.
Okay, cool. Yeah, Canada. Right, fantastic. Right, God, we've been talking for too long already. I just think McLaren maybe set out one lap too long. I don't think it changed the result of the race.
Okay.
They went for an overcut. I think they probably would have had an extra second or two, but that McLaren.
No, I think they went for an overcut, but they went for a second lap overcut.
Yeah, that's what I mean. The overcut worked because he did come out ahead of Verstappen, but Verstappen closed a couple of seconds on Norris on that last lap that he was out. So he would have been a second or two up the road, but those tyres were so cold and that Red Bull was so much faster in those conditions anyway. So I don't think it would have made any difference. It would have been a bit more exciting. He would have come out in the lead and I'd have been like losing my mind. But yeah, no, I don't think it mattered.
So did anyone do right? Did Gasly do right?
What did Gasly do again?
Went onto the hards or the mediums when everyone else was on intermediates.
Oh God, I can't remember now.
I think he went first. I think he went first.
Yeah, he did, didn't he?
And then put in. Was it him?
I think Ocon had the better strategy, but it's just he had the issues towards the end, which was then Alpine being amazing. Alpine just like doing Alpine.
There was a lot of people doing their normal shit of being shit. Do you know what I mean? Of being stupid or not, being themselves.
Can I just move away from Canada for a minute? I just want to have a rant about something. Okay. So it's coming out now that it looks like Alpine are not going to be keeping their engine. So Renault are going to be stopping doing.
Oh yeah, what's
powertrain.
this about? Go
So
on.
basically, Renault decided that because they only pay half of what everyone else does towards engine development, they suddenly realized that they are going to make a shit engine in 2026. So instead of just plowing loads of money into an engine they know is going to be shit, they've decided they're just going to use a customer engine. So we're going to have like an Alpine Honda or an Alpine Mercedes. And I
Right.
think that this fundamentally proves now, before we even get to this regulation set, that this regulation set has failed. The entire purpose of this regulation set was to try and bring in more manufacturers. And what have they done? They brought back Honda that never really left. They've lost Renault and they've gained Audi.
And Ford.
It's just a badging exercise. It's not. It's a name on a plate, but no one's calling that.
Where's Honda coming back?
Aston Martin.
Oh yes, forgot about that.
Another engine manufacturer in a different engine manufacturer's car.
Yeah.
So they've bent over backwards to create.
Aston Martin never built engines though.
No, they haven't, to be fair.
Yeah.
But I meant car
manufacturer.
Sorry. But
Alpine have built engines under Renault because they're the same company.
Yeah. So they've just created these regulations to bring in manufacturers into Formula One, and it hasn't worked. But all these regulations are massively hamstrung to be an engine formula, to be road relevant, and it hasn't worked. Why do we need the manufacturers? Realistically, we could just get a customer engine, stick it in every car. It'd be a Ferrari or a Mercedes or something, or even if we have two.
Well, no, it should be a Honda or a Toyota or someone that's not in the.
Yeah, or even if it was like you could have 2 or 3 engines, like IndyCar, but except it's frozen, it's spec. Yeah. They're just buying a badge to put on the engine effectively. So you could do that and Formula One would still be incredible. I like the fact we've got engine manufacturers, but we don't need more than 2 or 3, provided they can financially support the system. We don't need to have 6 engine manufacturers.
Yeah, but hang on. They want to bring in more engines, but then they don't want to bring in Americans. And it's just like, what?
Well, it's not that they don't want to bring in Americans. They just don't want to bring in anyone. Yeah. Like they would be perfectly happy for Andretti to buy another team. Like if Haas was for sale, they would buy Haas, and they'd be yes, come in, come on, come on.
With that won't be,
bring in all your money.
That won't be too long. No. So talking about Haas, let's talk about drivers because that's more exciting than what's been going on track. So Hülkenberg has gone to Audi, which makes sense. The Germans are together.
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
That's
and everyone was like, why is that? Yeah, who else are you going to get? Like, apart from Vettel, there's no one else floating around that's German.
Yeah, to be honest, I can see that as a possibility. I can see them.
I could also see them bringing Mick Schumacher, but I think Mick Schumacher's going somewhere, or that he's rumored to go somewhere.
I think, probably WEC.
No, he's already in that.
Yeah, I can't see him.
I thought he was coming. I thought there was a rumor about him coming into somewhere. Maybe I'm wrong.
He's still trying. McLaren, Mercedes, they're all.
McLaren are tied down.
Yeah, Ferrari are tied down. Mercedes, obviously, that's going to be Andrea Kimi Antonelli, I think, in that second seat.
Is that actually?
It's not confirmed. It's not confirmed.
I don't need. I'm all for bringing people up from the bottom. From new people, but this just feels like a sake of it type thing when there's other drivers there that could be, and I don't feel that Anatoletti, whatever his fucking name is anything.
Well, they
special.
They were only willing to offer Sainz 1 year. He didn't want it. Fernando Alonso re-signed with Aston Martin because at that time Aston Martin was slightly quicker than Mercedes, so buyer's remorse there. I'm pretty sure he would have taken a Mercedes engine in a heartbeat, or a Mercedes driver in a heartbeat if he'd have realised.
They're taking Mercedes engine rather than his old friend's Honda.
Yeah. Well, he's still got Mercedes engine at the moment at Aston Martin, but he's going to be back in Honda in 2026 because he signed a deal for him. So Aston Martin, technically not confirmed Stroll yet, but we all know what's happening there. Yeah. Sonoda's confirmed at RB, but a second seat is, everyone assumes Lawson or Ricardo.
That's
haven't
pretty
confirmed anyone.
Boring. So Haas is losing one person.
Definitely Hülkenberg, but I'm pretty sure Behrman's coming in.
But hang on, when does Hülkenberg leave?
Well, end of the year, like everyone.
Oh, he leaves at the end of not next year. So he's now.
Yeah.
So is he going?
He will be driving. He'll be Sauber next year. Then Audi.
So who's leaving Sauber?
No one's been confirmed yet. Bottas and Zhou are still under contract. Neither are confirmed that they're definitely going.
Okay.
And
Who do you
he's
think?
the only one. If you're looking, I think they're both going.
Okay.
I think it's gonna be Ocon in the other Audi, and then Bottas will probably end up at Haas.
Yeah, because Ocon's gone, but we don't know where to.
Yeah. So I think Ocon is the fullback. It'll be Sainz at Williams, which I never thought I'd say that, but I think it'll be Sainz at Williams. It'll be Ocon.
Do you think
it'll
be Sainz? So Sainz and Albon. I mean, that's sort of a bit of a solid dream team of a like. If Foles gets Sainz, that's a fucking brilliant.
That is the
lineup.
best, hands down. That is the best Williams lineup. And I think this is even better than this lineup. But since Bottas and Massa is the best lineup since then, potentially it could be better than that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think when they had a better driver lineup than that.
I mean, you're talking Frank Williams days. You're talking Damon. You're talking Damon Hill. And...
Probably not Damon Hill. We're probably talking Montoya Schumacher. I reckon. Montoya Schumacher in the mid 2000s. Yeah. That's the last time Williams had a better driver lineup than what they currently have.
But even that, I'm not even they're going to have.
I'm not even a massive fan of Ralf Schumacher, so I still think this lineup could even rival that lineup. So then we go if you're saying that, then you're probably looking back to. No, it would be Villeneuve Hill.
Yeah, Villeneuve Hill. It's got to be.
It probably would be since then, but even then, Villeneuve.
Yeah, but still, Hill.
And Hill, even Hill, just right car, right time. So,
still
last time we had pure talent in there.
Yeah, I mean, you have to give it to Bowles that he's doing great deals somewhere, or he's lucking out. I can't quite work out whether he's lucking out. We know that car.
He knows he's got good contacts. He talks to the right people.
Yeah, but he's also he's a bit like me, having been in the film industry a long time. You know people, you've been around, and you started at the bottom and made your way up.
Yeah,
you're not coming in like what's his name, Toto Wolff did. Suddenly came in very much at the top in a very sideward step way of becoming that team.
Well, he came in through Williams, didn't he?
He came in via investing in Williams. It was very sidestepped. He hasn't been, and plus he's worked from the ground up. That's what I'm trying to say. Is he's not coming via management. He's coming via being an engineer and being on the ground and whatever he did. So obviously he's got a lot of respect. He's an interesting character. People seem to like him. So I think he's a good shout.
He's definitely done well.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't know who else it's floating around. I can't work out.
It's just the Hasses. Behrman, I think, will be in there, and it will be another experienced driver, probably Bottas.
Yeah.
Can't see anyone else. Alpine, Doohan's got a chance. I think Gasly will probably end up staying there. Gasly's another possibility that could end up at Alpine.
Yeah.
Because I know he's not massively happy there. And we've obviously already discussed Williams. So
still, summer break is imminent. And we've got 3 big races back-to-backs now.
Yeah. Is that the last ones before the summer break?
4 big races. 4 big races, is it?
We've got 3 in a row. We got Spain, Austria, and Britain. And then we've got Hungary and Belgium. I think Netherlands is the first one back. So we've got 5, I think.
Yeah.
Belgium is
5.
Belgium is 26th of July.
Belgium
Hungary is 19th of July.
Dutch, the Dutch Grand Prix is on 23rd.
That's after the summer break. So Belgium cues the start of the summer break.
So we've got 3 gap 2.
Yeah.
Then summer break.
Yeah. So we've got 5 races in quick succession.
I don't think anyone's gonna. Isn't it 5 races in 6 weeks or something?
Yep. 5 races in 6 weeks.
I think we are going to have to. Yeah. Let's see if we can keep up. Can we do 5 podcasts in 6 weeks?
We'll do our best. Not making any promises.
Right. Anyway, see you in about a month's time.
I think if that coaster's coming out again, then we might make sure we find a time.
Yeah.
Great.
Anyway,
just one thing. I just want to announce who Dick of the Day for the last month has been.
Oh God, yeah.
It's been us. We're Dick of the Day.
Yeah,
right.
We're Dick of the Day.
Thanks,
driver
everyone.
of the day is Lando Norris.
Yeah,
Let's
done. Fantastic.
Right.
Bye.
Right, cool. Bye.
Thanks, live stream. Love you all.